What's up guys, it's Crash, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the class system that's coming to Battlefield 2042. And I know I haven't covered a lot of Battlefield 2042 recently because I haven't been enjoying the game. I talked a lot about it in my Dear Battlefield video about how I kind of am not pleased with the amount of content and the things that are happening with the community in Battlefield 2042. But I think since this is a step in the right direction, and I kind of want this channel to be a respectful voice for change in the Battlefield community, that I think we'll talk about this. We'll talk about Specialist, how it's going to change it. Is it going to fix the game? Is it going to turn it completely around and bring everybody back to the game? No, probably not, but I'm just kidding around. It probably won't, but I think it speaks well for the future of the franchise, right? Some of these legacy features that weren't in the game, that were confused as to why they changed Battlefield so much, at least they're working on bringing some of those back. Is it perfect? No, it's not going to be perfect because you're taking something that was designed not to be there. It wasn't designed to play this way when the foundations of the game were being built. They were moving away from the traditional class system from the very start. And to take a system that's been built out and then try to shoehorn it into these roles, into this different system, there's gonna be issues with it. And someone who did a great job highlighting the potential issues with the game is the Cadwoman. She has an excellent YouTube channel where she talks a lot about Battlefield, keeps up to date with the news, and she made an awesome video talking about 6 potential issues with the class system that could come to Battlefield 2042 when it is introduced. And I will definitely put the link to that video down in the description. She does an awesome job, and I want to address a couple of those a little bit later on in this video. But essentially for me, 2042 is a little bit of a lost cause for me, as you guys are probably aware with the lack of videos I've made about it over the last year or so. But when stuff like this happens, when we start to creep back towards our traditional Battlefield that we really love, I think it warrants a little bit of attention, and I definitely want to go check it out. It's going to be interesting to see how this changes people's dynamics in the game, how it changes interacting with blueberries, if this class system gets us closer back to that traditional Battlefield style of, you know, what would happen is even if you weren't playing, even if you were solo queuing, you could look at the bottom of the screen, see your squad's composition and see, you know, oh, there's a couple assault and an engineer. We don't have a medic, or we don't have a support. And then you chose those roles based on what the squad needed. And then you knew what you needed to do. Even if you weren't in a Discord call, or even if you weren't in an Xbox or a PlayStation party with your friends, you knew how to play the game. You knew that you needed to drop ammo, you needed to heal, you needed to revive, you needed to attack if you're an assault, you need to work with vehicles if you're an engineer. You kind of knew your role. And even if you didn't speak a word, even if you're a fairly new player, it's pretty self-explanatory, and it honestly just made everyone play together organically. Like, it just happened. Everyone knew their role, knew how to play together, and it made Battlefield awesome. So we're taking a minor step back, and I would say, guys, this being somewhat of a lost cause for me in the community, I think it speaks well to the future, that they're taking enough time to look at these legacy features and think, hey, maybe these aren't legacy features. Maybe these are foundational features and stuff that a Battlefield needs, and they're working on bringing it back to this game. So I think it speaks well to the future. I'm hopeful. I'm cautiously optimistic. But some of the things that the Cadwoman talked about in her video that I thought were really smart was some of these gadgets and being shoehorned. Some of the issues that are going to happen is stuff like the spawn beacon, like where this is only available to the recon class. Traditionally, snipers playing recon are kind of farther away from the objective, on the edge of the maps, trying to run support from remote areas, from a distance, trying to help the team from a distance. Generally, a few really good players can play aggressive snipers. It's fun to try. I try it sometimes. But that means the spawn beacon only being used by them will keep those on the edge of the map. There won't be any more spawn beacons near when you're playing rush or breakthrough, trying to get that last little push to get through to the objective. There won't be very many spawn beacons anymore for your squad up by the objective. I thought that was really interesting. One of the other things she talked about is how some of the specialists kind of don't make sense in their role. It's almost like they were put there because they needed more people in that, they needed more specialists in that category. And the really good example she gave was Boris. Boris is an engineer, so he is supposed to take out vehicles, work on vehicular combat, and his turret, his specialist gadget, doesn't do that in the least bit. It only does damage to infantry. So that one kind of doesn't make sense. And there's a couple others like that. Again, guys, if you're interested in that kind of discussion, please check out her video. It is really well done and goes into a lot more detail on that. How they're kind of handling weapons is a little bit different too. Rather than just going all in and, you know, saying that SMGs are only for support, that's all you can play. They're adding weapon proficiencies, and the reason they did that, I feel like there's almost not enough weapons to do that to. I think there are not enough guns in this game to be able to split them up into categories. They still need to remain that flexibility where you can play all of them, because there are not very many weapons in this game at all in all-out warfare. Especially, they're bringing more over from the portal, and that's good to get some more content into all-out war, but I don't think there were enough guns to be able to split them up like that. Instead, assault players, if they're using assault rifle, you get 3 extra mags of ammo. Engineers, if you use an LMG, you get an improved dispersion while crouched or prone. Support gets faster draw time with SMGs, and recon becomes really strong with snipers. You get an immediate, constant, and always on steady scope. So that'll be really strong, I feel like, for recon players with sniper rifles, and that's kind of how they're handling that. And that makes sense. They're doing some stuff and changes to the HUD, but this update should come out in the next couple weeks, and I'm going to be interested to try it out. I will probably come back and give it a go and just see how it changes how people play, and if it does at all. But let me know down in the comments if you're still playing the game and excited for this change, or if you're like me and it could potentially bring you back to check it out. I still think we're in kind of rough shape with this game, where we're going to see 1, potentially 2 new maps. I guess 2 new maps are pretty much confirmed for the rest of the duration of the life cycle, which could bring it to 5 new maps in the total time. And we are getting a class system, but it's important to think, hey guys, we've been wanting this since launch, and it is 427 days since the game has launched, and we're just now getting a class system. So while a lot of this is good, we need to keep it in perspective that we need to see some better progress towards the Battlefield game. If you guys enjoy these unscripted FPS discussion videos, and namely Battlefield, check out my Dear Battlefield video where I went in depth with the ways the community deserved better when it came to Battlefield 2042, and how we can be a respectful voice for change with the Battlefield franchise and advocate for a better game, more content for the community. Consider subscribing. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later.